What is going on, everybody? 2Bob29 back in the lounge yet again. Make sure to kick back, make sure to relax, and make sure to grab a decent chunk of snacks on this one because we have some zombie Liv Morgan gameplay. So, this one's going to be my own preview, my own whatever you want to call it, breakdown, dealio. That's what this one is going to end up being. And so I was a huge fan of Zombie Liv when she very first came out. She kind of fell flat, to be honest, when we went to gold. That being said, she doesn't have a gear to really help her out. She's just got the standard gear. But I honestly am very looking forward to this triple red move set at gold. And the reason for that are these two moments. So, this very first moment from last year, and it was available on the prize wall this year, on the month-long midweek prize wall, gives her 150% more botch jam damage. That's in every game mode. On top of that, there was the recent Zombie SummerSlam 2024 moment that we just had over this past weekend for Zombie CM Punk. This also gives her another 150% botch gem damage, and it also gives her 50% armor way at the bottom here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what it would look like in Feud, for example. I try to build all of my builds for Feud, or if you didn't have tour perks or things like that. Or if I don't, I will mention it ahead of time. But in regards to this one, this is going to be a Feud-centric build. You're going to notice that I have a 4 MP trainer on here. We also have 150% for botches. This could be better if you had Zombie Becky all the way maxed out at, I think it's 26k. Mine is not, so I'm not going to stress over 10% botch damage. And NWO Hogan for the +2 on the matching. You could also use X-Pac if you don't have NWO Hogan. Hogan just more commonly and readily available these days. So you get an extra 300% from both of these moments combined. You get an extra 150% from these trainers and coaches. You'll notice that my moves are not max level. This will stay at a 5x5 area even if you level it up. This will go up from 107k to 113k, so it's only about a 6k difference. Not really that big of a difference maker. So what I want to do is go into this. We don't have a strap equipped at all. I want to go into this match against Jade Cargill a bunch of times. One in this case is going to just be with the moments active. I cannot deactivate them. But that being said, this is also to see how strong we can get this Zombie Liv to be. And I think that she will outperform a lot of people's expectations in this game and moving forward. You'll notice that we have tour perks, so I don't want to assume that those are in play and Feud. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and make a 3-match. Now we get to put out our first set of botch gems. So I'm going to go ahead and put those down here in the bottom right. We're going to go ahead and make 2 more 3 matches, provided we don't cascade. That's always the key here, is not cascading. So there's 1 of them, and there is 2 of them. And we did not cascade. So we're going to go ahead and put the other set of botch gems in the opposing corner. The idea is that you want to go into corners of the board so you can put out as many botch gems as possible, whether it's the bottom left and top right, or the bottom right and top left. In this case, I did bottom right, top left, because that's where the majority of her matches are. So there's only these 2 little corners of the board that don't have botches on them. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and hit this finisher. With both moments, the trainers and coaches, we hit for just over 24 mil, which doesn't seem like a lot, but the board is full of botch gems, and you also have 50% armor built in. So you can see we just took down a 70+ million health Jade Cargill. Now, what I want to do after that is I want to switch out the trainers and coaches And we're going to do that a lot here. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to save this loadout. I think that's how it works. There we go. Save the loadout. Wonderful. And then what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to actually put in the other move set, or the other trainers and coaches, I should say, that I want to use in regards to this character. And that, I guess neither of them are here, which is kind of lame. That's going to be these two guys. So now we get not only 2 for a match and 1 more, which is 3 for a match, but we get 2 more on top of that, which is now 5 MP additional on a match. And we make an area of 3 gems. So hopefully you should see where I'm going with this. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to cascade less than more, obviously. In this case, it's not really a friendly board for these gems, so I'm going to take a risk and hope that it doesn't have a blue gem here, just so I can open up the top. Wonderful. We're going to go ahead and put our first set of botch gems down here. What I'm going to do now, I think I'm going to just go ahead and take this section. Now we're going to put out another set of botch gems. I think this is where I want to put my 3x1. So I'm going to just go ahead and cover up this section here. We're going to put our 3x1 down here. And now we can go ahead and pick wherever we want amongst the top 5, or the top 2 rows, what 5 gems we want to pick. So I'm going to go ahead and take those. So in this case, we ended up getting another set of botch gems out. There's only 4 gems on the board that are non-botch gems instead of 8. And you'll notice that that's actually going to be very helpful moving forward once we start adding in other skill plates and straps. But in this case, let's test it out. Let's see how well we do. We only did 20 mil there instead of 24 mil. But she breaks 3 sets of botch gems again and cannot kick out. Keep in mind, again, this is without a strap or medals. Or a skill plate, obviously, if there's no strap. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go back into this match. And I'm going to equip a 60% armor strap, which I believe is this one right here. So 60% armor. We're not going to do anything else. We're just going to equip the 60% armor. So the idea with this is that if your opponent does cascade and does break a bunch more gems, that they just won't be able to kick out. You'll also notice we have a nice top right corner over here that we can kind of abuse, so to speak, or hold on to, whatever you'd like to call it, with our little 3x1. We cascaded there, which is unfortunate. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to make the bottom right into the botch gems as well. In this case, we're going to go ahead and make another 3 match. And we're going to go ahead and take that top section. So now we, once again, even with cascading, only have 4 of these gems available. We're going to go ahead and use our finisher once again. But now this time we have 60% additional armor. So she went ahead and made a 3 match with yellow gems, which is her strongest gem, that were non-botch gems, but the rest of it, again, botch gems. So not very easy for Jade to kick out of there. So I'm going to go ahead and take it a step further. What we can do is we can switch back to the old set with Wade and with Stacy, but I think I'm going to keep it like this for now. And we're going to go ahead and put on some armor medals. So let me go ahead and shrink these. And for those of you that don't know, this is the gem defense symbol. This is percentage over flat. That's what we want. I'm sure I have a couple of these in use already. So we're going to go ahead and take our tier 5. We'll go ahead and take this one, which has some armor substat on it. With armor, you really want to focus on all the substats possible. This is only a tier 3, gives 77% on red moves, but it has 2.1% armor. This one has, almost 3% armor, so it is a tier 3 metal, which I think is very funny, but it does come with some additional armor as well, and it's some red move damage, which is nice. And I believe it is this one, which is 4% more armor. So lots of armor to go around with that setup. So we went from 60% to almost 138% on the strap. And yes, for those of you that are wondering, instead of Wade and instead of, Stacy, you could probably put Honky Tonk Man, Invis Cena, plenty of other trainers and coaches, so to speak. Again, we're going to go ahead and start with making the 3-match. I apologize for that last one. I think I just started with the botch gems instead of making a 3-match to go into the botch gems. That is my mistake. But in that case, it actually worked out because we cascaded. So again, we're going to make a 3-match here. Going to make a 3-match there. And we're going to go ahead and make one more 3-match. And I can see already that there's a lot of gems over here that she can match. This is probably the best bet because these 2 gems and these 2 gems, she can't match these reds. She can only match this purple as a non-botch gem. So now we're going to go ahead and use this with all the armor that we have. And again, very similar damage. You'll notice that she only does 40 damage on those gems. So she's already entered the no armor zone, right? So if we add more stuff on here at this point, it's just going to be silly because this Jade is going to do nothing to us at this point. We've already gone ahead and surpassed her strength. So what I am going to do is I'm actually going to move up a little bit here, and we have this Indy Hartwell instead of the Jade Cargill. You'll notice she has stronger metals, and she also has Santa. So let's go ahead and run that same exact moveset back with the same exact trainers, same exact coaches, same exact everything against Indy, and let's see how strong Indy hits as well. I'm expecting for her to be able to hit not significantly, but better than Jade should. So there's our first setup. Go ahead and start with the botch gems. We got another 3x1 set for another set of botch gems. And we got our third set for a third set of botch gems. So we've gone ahead and filled up everything but 4 gems on the board. This should again be close to about 20-ish mil, 19-ish mil. Let's see how much damage she does. She did 300,000 with her gems there, 200,000, almost 500,000. And again, you'll see there's just no kicking out, honestly. Even with Santa, even with solid metals. But you can see that it's no longer at the level of 40 gem damage. She's obviously doing some gem damage. So let's go ahead before we start adding in skill plates. A lot of players out there are concerned that Liv is too cascade prone and too cascade heavy, and those are fair concerns. So let's go ahead. My apologies. Let's ignore that botch gem placement. Let's assume that that was this 3x1 right here. So this 3x1 went by to activate these botches. Now we're going to go ahead and put another 3x1 down. And we're going to activate these botches. Okay? So in essence, all that we had to do was break 2 sets of 3x1 instead of 3. Let's see how much damage we can do this time, and if she can kick out on 2 sets instead of 3. So we did 18 mil instead. She got a couple of gem matches, but nowhere near close. Okay. Now let's take it one step further. Let's just do 1 set. We're not even going to bother stacking it. We're just going to do one set. So we're going to put our 3x1 out first. And, let's assume that we cascade with, 2 more sets of 3 matches, and we're like, oh no, I can only do this one time. Put it over the area that you think she can match the most gems of. It's fine. And let's test it out. 1 set. Is that enough? She got about $1 million on her first match, a couple 100,000. Decent-ish cascade, but still have about half of the health bar of the pin bar rather to go through. So even that isn't enough. This is all to show you that Liv doesn't really need all that much to be great with this setup. Now, all that being said, let's go ahead and take this a step even further. So we have these same moves. Again, I've kept this same entourage other than the very beginning where I was trying to show you that you can use Barrett and Stacy for the damage, but you'll notice the damage really isn't necessary compared to recharging the botch move. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep these 3 in here. I'm going to recharge the botch move twice. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to add in the Final Boss Finery plate, which for those of you that know will add even more defense to this whole setup. Before we do that, let me go ahead and change to this loadout is fine. We can do that, and we'll try it out this way without the plus matching, because right now the way that we're playing this is only to make the 5x5 one time. So for those of you that are concerned that this won't work and that you don't want to keep cascading into the 5x5, that's fine too. For those of you that just want to run one set of the botches, this is how it would look like. You'd aim for the area again that you think she would make the most gem matches on, and then you'd hit your finisher. So instead of it being, about 11 or 12 mil, we're at closer to 15 mil. And even with a decent cascade again, she's only done maybe 4, maybe 5-ish mil. It's not really that significant, honestly. But let's say, and I don't have an opponent like this because this indie is the strongest one you can find on the road. 6-star gold. She has the purple medals. She has the Super Santa. I can't find a stronger opponent, but let's say that you encounter one in Feud, right? And you're convinced that this isn't going to be enough damage, and so you're going to need to stack up your botch gems even more. And that's fine too. What I would suggest doing, if you have one, and again, all of that was to show you that you don't need one, obviously, but if you do have one, go ahead and take out the Final Boss Finery plate. And now we've gone back to our plus matching setup, and we've put the Final Boss Finery plate on Liv. This is, for me, everything possible that you could possibly need to run this character at her max potential. So with one match there, you can go ahead and make your botch gems once. And you've activated the Finery. With another match here, you can go ahead and charge up your move again. And even if you cascade there, you still have 2 more spots on the pin bar. So we've gone ahead and we've hit our move twice. The Finery has triggered twice. You'll notice that she's going to do no damage. So now you hit your finisher. It doesn't matter how much botch gem damage you have. She's going to do essentially the same damage that Jade Cargill did. You can't lose with this character. Now let's take it one step further. For those of you that are saying, well, Bob, this is slow. I don't like the way that it is. It's too cascade heavy. That's why we saved the loadout of the first one in the first place. Because if you don't like the set, which is fine, then you still run the starting MP. You still run the Hogan, even though you don't need it, but it's fine if you want to recycle twice. If you don't, what you can do for extra damage, and I will put mine on there, even though she is not, strong enough to constitute a different, let me go find her, a difference in what we're seeing so far. Where is she? Botch gems 10%. Here, botch gems 15% actually is better with our boy Snooty Face Triple H. If I had Becky leveled up, this would be 60% botch gem, but this will be less than what you can do if you have a maxed out Becky, right? But this is to show you what it could look like in regards to if you don't want to cascade and you don't want to use the 3x1 and it's too much work and all that type of jazz, right? So what you would do is you would literally put this 3x1 out one time. You would put your botch gems out one time. That'll trigger the finery plate. Even someone like Indy with Santa Hogan and her purple medals is at 1 gem damage. And then you hit your finisher with all the botch gem trainers and coaches for over 15 million damage. She ain't going anywhere. So, definitely nothing to sneeze at. She is the opposite of what a lot of people like. A lot of people like, character click, character go big boom. She is not big boom. She is not 150 mil because you click the button. But she's a character that you're going to win with against just about anybody. I don't have, like I said, a feud testing ground, so to speak, to kind of show what it would be like against Full Fury 2 with 100% gem damage and all that jazz. But if you did, what you can do, which is what we used pretty much for the majority of the video, is swap back to the plus matching. And you know what? If you really have to go ahead and make another 3x1 area, you can. It takes a couple extra clicks to put out the botches and the 3x1 a second time. But even if you want to just go ahead and win super fast, you can use her that way. A very viable use out of a powerhouse female in the game. A lot of people are not a fan of her total damage output, but sometimes you don't need to do 100 billion to win consistently, and this character definitely fits that bill. Yes, she needs some things. Yes, she needs, the moment for the botch gem damage, the other moment for the botch gem damage, and mainly the armor. She needs a nice armor strap. She needs some medals. She needs the finery plate. She needs some trainers and coaches for botch gem damage or for matching. Everybody needs something in this game. That is what this character needs. As you saw in the beginning against Jade, we were able to do this without any strap, medals, or skill plate at all, just because of the way that botch gems work. And because this also has a built-in 50% armor on it. So there's a lot of bonuses that she's getting from all of this. There's a huge benefit to using her this way in regards to all of the moments that they've built for her, all of the trainers, coaches that exist for her, and the skill plate, of course. None of these things are a necessity to win, as you saw against the Jade Cargill, but they are a huge, huge upgrade to how strong Zombie Liv can be. Also, huge shout out to Queen of Thorn asking for the gameplay. Hopefully, we did a good job here in the lounge for you. But that's going to be it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the Zombie Liv gameplay breakdown video. If there's anything else that you're thinking of for Zombie Liv moving forward, feel free to let me know. I appreciate each and every last one of you. Hopefully you all enjoyed the content. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to share with everybody that is curious about some Zombie Liv gameplay. And most of all, leave some comments below on what you thought. I appreciate each and every last one of you, and hopefully you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for stopping by in the lounge.